TPE 2025 in Las Vegas, as we've been saying all day long, at the Perdomo booth, and we're talking with Mr. Nicholas Perdomo. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for being so kind as to give us some time. I really appreciate that. I know things have been very, very busy all the last 2 days, and including today.
Very.
And I know things are, we've got the whole sales presentations that need to be done and coordinating all of that. And we always never want to, that was not really a double negative, but we always never want. That's kind of an interesting concept, but that's how it comes.
Sure.
Prefer not to interfere with sales if we can avoid that. So with that said, appreciate your time. I'd like to get directly from you a little bit of the history of the brand, the family, how it all started, so to speak.
Sure. So my dad started our company in August of 1992. My grandfather and my great-grandfather were both in the industry in Cuba. My great-grandfather worked for H. Upman. He was a part of the management department at H. Upman, and my grandfather was a factory manager at Partagas, so they were kind of competitors, but they really instilled the love of tobacco in my dad growing up, and when they defected from Cuba to the United States, there was really no opportunity to start because of lack of funds and so forth. So my dad was an air traffic controller, was in the military prior to the U.S. Navy from 1983 to 88, worked for the FAA up until about 96, but he started this side business called Nick Cigar Company in August of 1992. So it was something he wanted to do, and really in honor of his dad and his grandfather. So it was something. My dad made 9,000 cigars, 9,047 cigars in 1992, 1995 between our factories in Nicaragua.
And Nick, that was the first year, correct?
That was the first year, and then 3 years later, my dad produced 1 million cigars between our factory in Tampa, Miami, and Esteli, Nicaragua. So,
that's a bit of an increase, huh?
My dad was very successful, started out the gates and worked real hard. There was a lot of struggles, but just the work ethic.
Absolutely, absolutely. So such a big jump from that first year to over the next three.
Yeah.
He was really hustling, wasn't he?
He was a big hustler. Worked really hard.
Now, how old were you when he launched?
I was. He launched 2 months before I was born.
Before you were born.
Yeah.
So he's dealing with a family.
Yes.
He's dealing with I was going to say a pending baby, but basically a newborn going to be on his hands.
Yes.
And then starting a company at the same time.
Yeah, so right after Hurricane Andrews, when my dad started in 92, and then I was born 2 months after, and he was an air traffic controller for the FAA.
And he was active with that at that same time?
Correct. So my dad, I believe his last year with the FAA was 1996, and his accountant said, "Hey, this isn't the salary you're making with the FAA. It's not. It doesn't work. I mean, you're just giving away you got to choose one or the other." And my dad really loved both and loved being an air traffic controller.
So he had to sacrifice, in essence, his profession as an air traffic controller.
Yeah, he loved it. He was an air traffic controller since he was 18 years old.
Really?
So it was something he loved. But he loved our business too, and he said, "Hey, I gotta go with it." And it's the best decision he ever made.
Do you know approximately how old he was when he made that change?
My dad was 31.
So he had spent pretty close to almost, at least half of his life in that profession as an air traffic controller.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that's a big sacrifice.
Yeah, my dad was about 25 when he started our company.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then struggling through
27, excuse me.
What's your first recollection of cigars?
I remember being in our factory in South Miami. We used to make cigars in the house originally before we had our facility in West Flagler Street in South Miami, and I remember going with my dad, visiting. We had two pairs of rollers. Today we have over 200 pairs of rollers in Nicaragua. So I remember all the beginning. I wasn't fighting the war with my dad because I was too small. I would have been in there, but I remember having beautiful memories of just seeing how he started and looking back. It makes me emotional to see the great work that my dad did.
Right. Yeah. And fine and outstanding work that the family has come. Your father and the family has come along with. Absolutely. What is your favorite cigar?
It's a tough one. I love all our cigars. Right now we're coming out with a cigar called Perdomo Legacy. It's going to be released it's going to be shown in April at the PCA trade show. It's going to be released in May. That's a cigar I've been working on the last 4.5, almost 5 years that I blended from my dad. So that's kind of my favorite cigar right now. So it's 3 different wrappers, and I'm going to get into the specifics once we get close to the date, because we have something very special. Tobaccos we never use, and tobacco's completely proprietary to our company. So I look forward to talking about that. But I mean, I love all our core brands. I mean, just Nicaraguan tobaccos, you know, medium plus type of cigars. I like a rich cigar. I love our 20th anniversary line, sun-grown Perdomo Habano, 10th anniversary, 12 year. I love it all. I mean, that's what we blended. It's our family cigars. That's what we like and what we want to share with our consumers. So that's every cigar.
And you and your father are blending this, or have blended this?
My dad blended most of the cigars prior.
No, I mean the one that's going to be coming out in.
I blended that myself.
You blended that yourself,
Correct.
so you literally, and I'm sure you've done others. You know, handing off that tradition and handing off that skill set.
Yeah, it was on the job training for me. I mean, I started end of 2019 before COVID, and there was a lot of failures, a lot of times where I wasn't, you know, it wasn't clicking the tobacco, the blend that I wanted, and I was fortunate to be, you know, in our facilities where we keep all our bales of tobaccos, and one of our factory managers says, hey, we've never used this tobacco. It's 10-year aged filler tobaccos from an area in Condega. I call it the miracle leaf today. It's unbelievable. It's incredible tobacco, intermediate between sweet, aromatic, and powerful tobaccos like Esteli. So it's something that I incorporated in the blend. It's just one of many different things of what makes Perdomo Legacy so special, what's going to make it such a special brand, and really such a different brand. So I just saw the different learning experiences that I had, and being able to discover a lot of tobaccos and work with a lot of stuff. So I had my failures, I think, became successes and made me stronger, and especially in the future, I know more or less what I need to do and what I want to do in the future when I blend other cigars.
Absolutely. You know, to quote Nietzsche, you know, what doesn't kill us makes us stronger.
That's right.
And failures, if you can build on failures, that's what you got to do.
I was frustrated.
Work through the frustration and just push through it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Don't
very
quit.
good. Yeah, outstanding. And that's going to be, that legacy will be released probably at PCA, I would imagine.
It will be released at PCA. It'll be shown at PCA, and the brand will be released in May.
Oh, in May. Okay. Available in May.
Available in May.
And I always like to say this, an expected release in May, because things can happen.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Yeah. I love your positivity. I love your positivity, brother. I love your positivity. Outstanding.
Yes.
Very good. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
All the best to your family and your friends, and of course your crew here.
Thank you.
Gotta love your guys. They're always very, very generous. So thank you so much. You travel well home, and all the best.
Same to you.
Married, children yourself?
Yes, I have my wife. I'm married. I have my daughter, and we have another baby on the way. So just found that out. So it's very happy about that. So we'll be having our second soon, at the end of this year.
At the end of the year?
Yeah, more towards September area. Yeah.
Well, you know what? That's kind of almost, I mean, maybe a few months off, but almost like your birth. You know, and your father. Yeah, think about it.
Before.
Yeah, very good. So part of the maybe part of the legacy.
Yes, absolutely.
Anyhow, you travel well home and appreciate it.
Same to you. Thank you.
Love you, brother.
Thank you.